Welcome back to the show, guys. With me, I have my friend Avin, Mathew, and today we'll talk about, Avin. He is a real life hustler, and he has a lot of stories, and we would love to hear the stories. As you already know, we do not make it scripted, so everything is going to be one take, and we'll be talking about a lot of things. So tell me, Avin, what's going on with you these days?
These days, pretty much nice. Like we have been going through pandemic, so life has been like pretty usual, you can say. So like 2 years back, we have faced the pandemic. The complete world had come to a shutdown. So normally the life is going well these days. So I have been hustling a lot right now, as usual. I've been taking care of myself, my diet, my health. So yeah, it has been going pretty much good. I can say life is more beautiful and wonderful these days.
Last time I met you, you were quite a fitness enthusiast.
Yes,
So you
yes.
still keep up the spirit.
Yes, always. Fitness is in my blood. However, I want to say that fitness is one thing which really keeps me going. So I really believe that if you are having a healthy mindset and a healthy body, that goes for a long run for you. I started yoga in pandemic only. So there was one friend of mine who suggested like, why don't you do yoga? Try out yoga as well. I thought, okay, let me give it a try. So initially started out, I was continuously failing at it. I thought like, let's quit it. However, you know that there is one kind of an instinct in me which always tells, no, you can achieve it. So I thought, okay, fine, let's do it slowly by slowly, easily now, taking smaller steps. So generally what happened, I started doing some few asanas which were very easier to do. I found like after doing those asanas, it was actually doing me a lot of good. My complete stress was getting relieved after doing those kinds of asanas. Then eventually I started doing much more tougher asanas and all, and eventually I started doing yoga on a large scale, on a daily day-to-day basis. And now I can say that yoga has become one of my pivotal things in my fitness regime, and I make sure that yoga is there, especially when I'm not going to even gym. Also, I do yoga.
So how much time do you do for how much time do you take for the yoga?
Yoga thing, I usually do it like for 30 minutes, at least for 30 minutes. I
You do it in the morning?
Yes, I do it in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, you go ahead.
And does yoga help you in terms of the condition you're going through right now?
Yes, pretty very much, because it has really helped me out a lot. Because if we look at the history of like I have a condition like multiple sclerosis which I have been going through from past 8 years. So once I started doing yoga, I realized the benefit of it. So yoga, like as Ayurveda says, for the long run it does benefit. It has huge beneficial added to it. So I started realizing that I was actually more able to focus on my work. I was getting less kind of issues with my coordination and all. So yes, yoga did improve a lot. So Sam, one of my biggest motto in life is that like before I was diagnosed with MS. So I usually used to be a kind of a guy who used to hustle around a lot. Like I can't sit in one place. My family used to say that why you keep on jumping like a frog to one place to another. So that was me before I got this condition. And after when I got this condition also, I have this biggest motto in my life is that if you are falling 100 times, make sure that you're waking up 101 times as well. So we all as human beings, we will definitely fail. We will face those hardships. There will be tougher times. However, those tough times makes us more strong, which I really believe. And one of the major thing is that if you are falling, you need to make sure that you are waking up much more stronger than before.
And what are you doing these days in terms of your work?
So in terms of my work, like after when this pandemic all thing happened, so we were enclosed to four walls of our house. So these days, what I'm doing is that I have started gaining a lot of skills, especially related to programming languages. So these days, what I generally do is that I have started learning programming language. There was one friend of mine, very close friend, I can say. So she recommended me, why don't I try my hands on programming languages? I told, okay, it might not be my piece of cake. I clearly told her. She told, just have a try. So I started doing it, and once I started doing it, I realized that I have started loving to do it right now. So it has turned into one of my passions right now. So I love learning new languages, and I have been learning SQL, and these days I have also been trying to.
Is it beneficial for you in terms of the job you're doing?
Yes,
How does it
actually,
help?
so I am also trying to change my career path. So once I change
Okay.
my career path, so it will definitely help me out a lot, because in this complete 2 years, I've been able to learn two new languages, and this is a great
That is
achievement, which is SQL, Python. I've been able to learn these
SQL
two,
and Python.
SQL and Python, yeah.
Okay.
So I've been able to learn these two languages, and these two languages, when I started, I thought I might not be able to do it because I'm from a non-tech background. So any person who's from a non-tech background, once he sees that some kind of a technical work is coming, they get a cold feet. So I also got this cold feet. I thought it might not be my cup of tea, but gradually and eventually I started doing it. And once I started doing it, I realized that yes, this can also be done. Everything is easy, but everything is in your mindset. If your mind can conceive it, you can always achieve it.
You can always
Achieve it, yes. So I started doing programming language, I started learning it, and once I started learning it, I realized I do love this particular thing as well. So yes, I have been, like, in terms of my professional career, I have been learning those languages so that I can upgrade my job, I can upgrade my salary. So one of my main reason, if you ask me why are you looking for that particular thing, so if I will be able to help more number of people, this means like more number of people can be affected with our lives. Like we will be able to affect more people,
more and more people.
more and more people. Yeah. So that is one of my biggest mindset.
If you want to give back to the society, you got to have something.
Something of your own. Yes. Yeah. And one other thing which I also believe is that, which I will really re-emphasize on, is that always help those people who can't help you back.
Yeah. I want to ask you, what do you do on the stock market? Because I heard you were doing some stock market training also. Right?
Yes. As you can say that I have already, like, you know me, like I have this passion to keep on learning new things.
Keep on learning things. Yeah.
So recently only, like in the month of April 2021 only, I tried my hands into stock market. But I will generally recommend to all you people, first, before learn something.
Don't try this at school,
yes. So,
office or anywhere.
Stock market is one thing where you have to have a prior knowledge, and you need to have a good understanding before investing your entire money into it, I must say.
Okay.
So I started learning about stock market. I started learning about ins and out of it. And
one quick question I have for you.
Yes.
Would you recommend, to the audience who are listening to the show, would you recommend these agents, investor agents, who come up and they ask you for like 3 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees, and they ask you that, you know what, you invest this much amount and we'll give you this much return every 1 month, 2 months. I mean, for me as a non-stock broker, I feel it's fake. It sounds unrealistic. You get so many calls these days,
Yes.
and the agents are there, right? They're more like stock brokers.
So
What's your take on that?
I will not recommend it, because it is always important. Like if you are trying to do something, first learn that thing, then you try your hands on that. Because India is a growing economy, and in this growing economy, everybody, especially we as youths, we definitely have a very bigger chance. So I will say you learn yourself, and then you invest your own money in it.
But that's bogus, right? People come up to you and they ask you invest. So for an instance, I met this guy, and he is into investing, and he asked me that, Sam, would you like to invest?
Definitely, I will say that it's a one side of the coin, which definitely I will say it is not recommended from my end. It's not recommended from my end, because 5 lakhs, if you're giving to one person and you are saying invest on my behalf, why don't you keep that 5 lakhs and first learn how to invest that 5 lakhs?
And then invest. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So what he was saying that you invest 5 lakh rupees and I'll give you 1 lakh rupees every month.
Okay.
And I could smell something is fishy,
Fishy.
and I didn't invest although, but again that's quite a fascinating offer, that invest 5 lakh rupees and you get 1 lakh rupees in return. I mean, in real world it does not happen. Yeah, so I could figure out that it was not real.
That is one of those worldly traps which have been laid out for all us people, I can say. So these are like small traps. Like there is no such formula. Like even if I say stock market, there is nothing like you can double your money in 10 days, 5 days. one day also. There is no such formula. So first you need to learn about something, and then only you need to invest, especially when it comes your money, your hard-earned money. You need to learn those skills, then only invest. I can recommend that.
So when you say learn, what do you mean by learning? So what are the courses one can do?
So when it comes to stock market, you can definitely try to learn.
Okay, tell me the ABCD of it. Okay, I'm a beginner. I do not know anything about it. So tell me, how do I start from the scratch?
First, I will tell you, definitely go with the YouTube contents. So there are many YouTubers right now. Like I can recommend few names like CA Rachna. CA Rachna is there. Then Phenology. There is one particular guy who is running Phenology. I don't remember his name. Pranjal Kamra. Yes, Pranjal Kamra. So these guys, they are actually doing a lot of content, preparing a lot of content actually on how to make youth aware of how to take care of their finances. So start from those YouTube contents, start learning from them, and once you learn from YouTube contents, then do your own research. So once you do your own research, that is how when you learn on your own. So once you do your own research, do short-term portfolios. So short-term portfolio when I say, so start investing money, but on a small scale.
Okay. Start with the small investment.
Small investment. Just see how it goes. Yeah. And definitely, I will not say that it will skyrocket. I will not say that it will. Once you invest, you will be having lots and lots of money. And myself, when I started, I lost some money. But there is one thing which you learn out of it. Once you lose something, that is when you learn out of it. So when it comes to learning, I clearly believe that failure has a lot of major role to play in it. So once you fail, you take out the good points out of it, and then you next time when you apply it, that is how you learn any new skill or anything in your own life as well.
So start with the small portfolio and start with the YouTube learning.
Yes.
And what are the courses that one can do?
Courses one can do is like you can go to Udemy, and you can go to Udemy as well.
That's also online.
That's also online. You can find some courses from there. Otherwise, what I can recommend you for this is that you can go self-learning. Self-learning is one major thing. You can create notes for yourself. So creating something, once you learn something and write it down, you will have a more better understanding of it in the long run. So once you, like in the future, you might not remember this particular term or terminology. So once you see that you have written something with your own handwriting, then you will at once remember those things in a more efficient and effective way.
Okay. Yeah. So the idea behind the podcast, the idea behind this show is to, the topic was we were discussing offline. How do you manage your time? So you have the best in the business, Avin. He does yoga. He learns Python and SQL. He is into, he's going through a condition which we will talk about, and I think he's doing a job. He's doing a full-time job. He's into his kitchen, baking good cakes.
This is I'm cooking also.
The time management, because you're already doing it. So what are the, when you think of something, how do you start a new project? So let's say if there is a project, somebody told you about yoga, somebody told you about, do this technical course, learn a language, start with stock marketing. How do you get time and how do you manage time basically?
So when it comes to time management, actually I can tell you one small proverb.
Yeah.
So there was once a man who did ask like Buddha, like what is one biggest lie which has been told to every one of us?
Yeah.
So Buddha replied, like every one of us thinks like we have enough of time. That is not the case. I will really tell that yes, time is in abundance. Time is in abundance to every one of us. Like time is there. However, time is not in our control. So one of the best and effective way for time utilization or time management is start respecting your time as you respect your money. So once you start respecting your time, this means you are respecting your money as well. So time and money are two correlated things. So you respect your money, you respect your time as well. So indulge on those things which are short-term minor tasks. Like once it comes to, like I can say, like in front of camera also I can say, I was not a very big time management guru, or I was not very good in time management skills. However, one big thing which I learned is that, especially during pandemic times, like out of a sudden, like when I started realizing that I was wasting a lot of my time in small activities which was really not needed, and I was also a very big procrastinator. So how did I overcome this? Is that once I was going through some internet content. So I must say that we live in an era where technology is in abundance. We should always make use of our technology. So
make the best use of it.
Make the best of use of it. So I was going through that YouTube content. So there was this YouTube creator, Ankur Warikoo. So I used to see his content. So he told me about a technique called as Pomodoro technique. So if I am learning any new skill, so he told, like, I'm telling you the Ankur Warikoo story. So he told, like, once if he's learning a new skill, he used to apply those techniques in his work.
Okay.
So I thought of giving it a try. So Pomodoro technique, how it works is that 25 minutes of focus time and 5 minutes of break time. You work for 25 minutes, and for 5 minutes you have your own leisure time. You give your mind a break out of that focus time. So when I started, I was not very good at it. Eventually, I was only able to focus 15 minutes.
Okay.
15 minutes, maximum 15 minutes I was able to focus.
And what is the main distraction during that time?
Anything it can be. You're like, these days we live in a distractive world in itself.
Yeah.
Our phone is a very big distractor. In our family, somebody might be calling our name. Like in our family background also, where we live these days, like over here, like everybody, like they talk in a very loud language, I must say, and they are always calling out you. And there can be many factors. So technology is the one main factor which I can relate over here as well. So once I started doing
that
this,
could also be the dopamine that gets high over a period of time.
Yes.
You get a message and you are curious.
What is there in that message? And once you start that message, then you go to the next message, then you go to Instagram, then you go to Facebook, and then that complete cycle starts.
That's basically a trap,
Basically
for the
a trap.
distraction.
Yes, I must say that. Then eventually it started happening with me also. I started falling into those traps.
Okay.
Then I thought, like, I will take small minor steps. I thought, like, okay, I am giving 15 minutes. I'm able to still focus 15 minutes. That was a great achievement task for me. So, and my break time was 10 minutes. It was only prescribed for 5 minutes, but I was taking for 10 minutes.
Okay.
So eventually I thought, okay, still I'm making a progress.
Yeah.
I'm able to focus for 15 minutes. This means I am doing good.
Yeah.
I was making progress of 0.1% at least.
Any progress is a progress.
Any progress is a progress, as we say. So next day when I start, instead of giving 15 minutes, I'm able to give 16 minutes now.
Okay.
So that is a 1 minute progress for me. So as the days pass by, and I can say after 3 months, 3 or 4 months, I'm able to focus for 20 minutes now, and my break time has got reduced to 5 minutes now. And eventually what happens is that when I am going and focusing myself for that 20 minutes, it's really helping me out, because when you focus on a task for that particular duration of time, you're able to grasp a lot of that task. Suppose if you're learning something, if you're learning a language, if you're learning about stock market, if you are like talking to somebody, you're into a relationship with some person, focus is one thing which needs to be there. And for that 20 minutes of duration, if you're able to focus on anything, it can reap you out of great benefits. So eventually after 6 months, I was able to focus for 25 minutes, and now if I look back, yesterday itself I was able to complete 12 Pomodoros. So daily I'm able to complete these days at least 5 Pomodoros. My minimum task which I've given me for the day is like 5 Pomodoros I have to at least complete for 25 minutes each.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a consist of?
That consists of 25 minutes of focus time and 5 minutes of break.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is one technique which I've followed, and the second biggest technique is that which I have learned. This I've also learned in the pandemic only. So start prioritizing your task. Suppose if in a particular day there is one task which is one of your major tasks. Like,
would you recommend keeping a journal to start with the day?
I will definitely not recommend a journal, because like
How do you keep a track on that?
For first few days you will keep that journal. I know we all people we will be very serious about it. But for the 5th day or the 6th day when it comes, that journal will be lying down in a cupboard in the dust. I know that it will be there. It will happen.
You start with the phone. You have notes. Make journals on that.
We can do that, but I'm not a very big fan of that.
Okay.
So generally, what I do is that you need to have a reason. If you have a strong reason for something, that is when you are able to achieve those tasks.
You
Suppose
have to find a why.
you have to find out a why, as told by Simon Sinek. So why is one main important reason. So behind every task, there should be one biggest reason that why you are doing it in the very first place. Suppose if I give you, like as I was coming to my second example, like majority of the task, major task, your task in a particular day should be divided in chunks of activities. Suppose if you're doing some kind of a major activity which requires your complete focus on that particular day, that should be the first task which you should do when your energy is at maximum. Suppose if you're waking up in the morning and you realize that I need to go to the gym anyhow and I need to be fit, because if I'm going to gym, this means I will be fit. So these are correlated to each other. And other minor tasks might be like after gym I need to take a bath, I need to do my office activities, I need to talk with some person. So these are other minor tasks. I'm just giving you an example. Suppose if your major task over here is to be fit, you need to go to the gym. So what happens is that generally, it happened with me also, I'm giving my own life example. So if my major task was to be fit, then what I used to do is that I used to wake up in the morning, I used to do all these minimal tasks. Like I used to go through this phone, through the content, and I used to talk to somebody, and then I used to read that newspaper, and then I used to say to myself, I used to kind of procrastinate that I will work out maybe in the evening. And by the time when the evening comes, my energy will be completely drained out.
Okay.
There will be not a bit of energy left in me, and I will eventually end up saying, I will do the gym tomorrow. Okay. And eventually, I will work out tomorrow. And that day will never arrive itself.
Yeah, Monday never comes
Monday
back.
never comes back. So eventually what has happened is that I started taking out that major task from that end of the day to the starting of my day when my energy is at maximum. So it all depends upon when your energy is at maximum, you do that task which is really important to you for your own growth.
So channelizing your energy.
Yes.
Align all the tasks.
Yes.
Along with the energy scale, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
when your energy at high,
Yes.
do the hardest task during that time.
That particular time.
Yeah. And put a reward on every task you do. Like you said,
Definitely.
you work for 25 minutes,
Yes.
you're focused for 25 minutes.
Yes.
And just to keep you away from the distraction, give a reward for your
5
yourself,
minutes.
like 5 minutes.
That 5 minutes can be listen to any music which you love. One of the best music which I love is Hall of Fame. Whenever actually that music was recommended by him only, and that has become a part of my story. Like whenever I am everywhere, I listen to that music anytime. So just reward yourself. If you love to eat chocolates, have that chocolates in the fridge. If you are able to,
the reward can be anything.
Reward can be anything.
Okay.
But don't make that reward your phone again. I would definitely not recommend that. Suppose if you're able to complete the 25 minutes of focus time, then next 5 minutes of your focus time should not be there on your phone. Because phone is one thing which can get you more distracted. So that 5 minutes can turn out to be 10 minutes. So stay away from your phone, do other minimal kind of activities. Like you can
Social media is not a reward.
Social media is not a reward. Definitely, it was never a reward. So reward can be eating something which you really love. Second thing can be you can hear to a music which can really help you to soothe up, which can give you more pump, so that the next task which you're taking, you will be able to focus with more larger scale on that. So yeah.
Nice. Everybody, you like it or not, everybody these days. It could be, it could be your father or grandfather, it could be your younger brother, sister, your friends, the youth and the elder generation. Everybody is everybody is basically going through this trouble these days. So it's just a matter of 15 seconds. Swipe up, swipe up, swipe up. You end up spending 2 hours, 3 hours. It is actually impacting your sleep time at night.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, what is your best way to tackle that situation?
Okay, so the best way to tackle and how to reduce the screen time, I would definitely recommend is that find out a passion or a hobby. So this thing will definitely help you out. So instead of scrolling on the mobile and looking at other people's life and then imagining yourself into that particular life is doing no good to you. So why don't you build that passion or any kind of a hobby which will really help you out in the long run. Otherwise, do small talks. So instead of going to online and 15 seconds scrolling, call a friend. Maybe it can be an old friend. Have a word with him. Have a short conversation with him. It can really help you out. Instead of going on the online and spending out this much time, these small things might help you out.
The another question I had for you, and in fact, I want to know the best practices you're doing to keep you up to dated, and what would be the advice you want to give to the people who are actually going through the same situation as you are?
So first of all, like to give you a zest of that. So I am suffering from multiple sclerosis. So multiple sclerosis is a kind of an autoimmune disorder. So here your own immune system acts against you, and it affects your brain, it affects your central nervous system, and your coordination, your vision, everything goes for a toss. So one main thing which I can definitely recommend for all the people who are not only suffering from MS, who are suffering from any kind of disease or any kind of prolonged sickness, never give up. So if you give up, then that means you are letting that thing win. So always continuously move in your life. You should always be in a constant mode of doing any kind of activity, whether it is any kind of a small activity like walk which you work, or just go for a jogging, do some kind of exercise. And one of the biggest mistake which our generation these days which they are doing is that they are
We were at the
MS, yeah. So I'm coming to MS only. So in MS also, like any people, like not only MS who is suffering from MS, but any kind of a prolonged sickness. If it is like they love to walk, they love jogging, somebody loves swimming, and somebody likes to talk with some other people, just do that activity. Make sure that you're doing those small things to keep yourself happy. And if you let that particular disease or let any kind of disorder, like let it win upon you, then what will happen is that in the long run it will start affecting you on a more larger scale. So what I can recommend is that take a good sleep, have a proper diet, talk to people whom you love, and fourth, and the best thing is that if you are connected to God, talk to Him more often. These things will help you out a lot.
A couple of questions I have for you on this. So you get this question when you are suffering, or not maybe suffering, when you are stuck into a situation like that, wherein you feel that there is no outcome, there is no betterment for it. So that's like a human mentality. Okay, we feel why me, why me. So how do you handle that why me depression? Because that gives you a lot of hit. When you feel that why me? Everybody is going through, having a good life, but why I'm the chosen one?
So yes, as you said, I also got that same thought, because multiple sclerosis in female, it is a common occurrence. However, in males, it's a rare occurrence. And I also have this same thought process. I had that same thought process. Why me? God, why did you only choose me to give me this particular disorder or disease? Then at one moment of time, I got my answer. And that answer is that sometime God gives their hardest battle to their toughest soldier. So that is one thing which I realized in the long run is that. So each thing has its own, you can say, an occurrence in your own life. So my own condition, it is really harsh, it is brutal. But let me just tell you one thing, MS is a very good teacher as well. It has taught me so many good things as well. It has taught me how to continuously hustle, how to keep and take care of myself, how to take care of people who are around me. So yes, I do think sometimes, but whenever I think this, why me, then I only have this answer, as I told you. Sometimes the God gives his toughest battle to their toughest soldier. So that's it. Yeah.
That's good, Avin. I think one podcast, one show is not enough. I think we need to sit down for real and do maybe 6 hours, 7 hours of conversation. to,
7 hours.
Get more and more insights from you.
Okay, you're always welcome.
So no victim cards, no why me thing. It's just that keep yourself motivated.
Yes.
And you will find out a way.
Definitely, everybody finds out a way.
No matter how the life, if the life is tough, you get tougher, right?
Yes. Life will throw you down. It will, as they say in Rocky Balboa, it will beat you down. But you should be the one who is rising up every now and then. So that is when this podcast also started. I told you guys that if you are being beaten down 100 times, make sure that you are waking up 101 times.
101 times.
Yes. That is one biggest motto and biggest tagline which I live by. In my complete life, I have been following this, and it has always done me good.